a bowl of milk, showing that there is no space because the milk came up to the brim of the bowl. So he just dissolved a handful of sugar in the milk and said that we would like to live in India just like sugar and milk can exist. And today we find that the same essence of Persian in Indian culture. Persian culture in India is just like the sweet, the sugar in the milk. Today, the institutes which are aiming to foster Indo-Iran relation, it is not that they are just advancing the Iranian agenda alone. We also find that the Indian ethos, the Indian culture are intertwined with Persian, and thus you have Indo-Iran. Therefore, in the wisdom of Dr. Muhammad Ishaque, he christened the journal not as Iranica, not as Iran-Namal. He made it Indo-Iranica, where you could see the fusion between India and Iran, a happy blend of India and Iran in terms of culture, in terms of language, in terms of history. So many shared elements would be seen in one single volume, which is Indo-Iranica. Of course, the standard varies from time to time. I can say with full responsibility that the earlier issues of Indo-Iranica, which came out during the time of Dr. Muhammad Ishaque, perhaps till 1966, if I am not wrong, Professor Ishaque passed away in 1966. Till 1966, this Indo-Iranica was heavily academic loaded journal. And it was very magnanimous journal in the sense, it was all embracing in the sense that one could see the presence of the Parsi writers, people who were interested in Iran before Islam. There is a sizable portion of academic writings on Iran before Islam written by Parsi scholars, and their abiding interest in Indo-Iranica as late as Mr. Lucy begin. One could see that how the Parsi presence in Iran society, the Parsi presence in Indo-Iranica, they were all, perceptible, they were palpable, they were very much, I would say, visible. Today, unfortunately, we don't find that space being filled by the Parsi community. It is not that Iran society is responsible for that. In fact, the Parsi community has also drifted away from their origin. They are more interested in their corporate life rather than in their cultural heritage today. That is why we do not find that Parsi presence in Iran society or in Indo-Iranica, because the Parsis have also changed their priority. They are giving more priority to their commerce and corporate life rather than the cultural and academic Parsi life, which is a proud possession of India.
A visionary from Kolkata, with the support and encouragement of some prominent scholars, philanthropists of Kolkata, established an organization, namely Iran Society, in 1944. It was not merely a turning point in the history of Persian studies, but a landmark for scholars of Persian, both Muslims and non-Muslims, who wholeheartedly devoted their energies and time in literary activities, foster meaningful discussions, collaborate in Persian research and criticism, and further advancement in this field. To Dr. Ishaque, the Iran Society was more than just an academy of Persian. It was the radiating center of intellectual sociability and central attraction of educated classes. Dr. Ishaque established the Iran Society, and after 2 years he started the publication of INDO-IRANICA.
One of the most key activities of the society, has been the publication of its bilingual quarterly journal, the INDO-IRANICA, which has consistently circulated since its inception in July 1946. The initiative for this scholarly publication was spearheaded by Dr. B.C. Law, a prominent figure in cultural studies not only in West Bengal but all over India, who not only played a crucial role in its but also generously provided the necessary financial support to cover the society's entire publication cost during its formative years. In addition to the regular publication of INDO-IRANICA, several special issues have been released to honor significant figures and contribution in Indo-Iranian studies. Noteworthy additions include the Maulana Azad number, celebrating the contribution of the esteemed Indian scholar and politician; the Pandit Nehru number, dedicated to the first Prime Minister of India and his philosophical insights; the Al-Biruni number, highlighting the work of renowned Persian polymath known for his advancement in astronomy and cultural studies; Mullah Sadra number, focusing on the works of the prominent Islamic philosopher known for his development of existential philosophy; E.G. Brown number, honoring Edward Grant Brown, a key figure in the study of Persian literature, was only 31 years of age. In continuing its devotion to scholarly work, the Iran Society published the Al-Biruni Commemoration Volume 1951 and the Avicenna Volume 1956. In 1955, the Iran Society publishes Glimpses of Persian Literature by Ali Asghar Hikmat. The Iran Society made considerable efforts in promoting the Persian language and literature by publishing a wide array of books and monographs. These publications serve not only as academic resources but also a cultural treasures that highlights the richness of Persian heritage. Some notable titles include some of the few Al-Biruni, A Life History; Al-Biruni, Knowledge of Indian Geography; Life and Works of Faizi by Dr. Ishaque Desai; a vast contribution to Indo-Persian literature by Sayyid Muzaffar Hussain Barni; a research work in Persian entitled Tasir-e Farsi Zabane Bengali, Influences of Persian on Bengali, authored by Professor Ata Karim Bar; INDO-IRANICA, a reputable platform for encouraging young scholars. Discourse maintained on open invitation to scholars and writers from the Indian subcontinent and the Central Asian countries, cultivating a collaborative academic environment. The journal has served as a storehouse of countless real articles that explore the importance of history, culture, and literature of Central Asia.
The quarterly literary organ of the Iran Society has served as the treasure trove of Persian language and literature, enshrining the glorious achievements made by the people of India and Iran in different periods of time. As Dr. S.A. Hassan, Sayyid Akhtar Hussain has already explained as pre-Islamic and post-Islamic and modern Islam, a modern and days Islam that is after Islamic revolution. I won't repeat those names who have contributed their papers. Name Dr. K.M. Yusuf, whose contribution was not less than others. Then came Hashim Abdul Ali Sahab, Mr. Majid Sahab, who served about more than 40 years as secretary of the INDO-IRANICA, and as well as he served for a long period as a managing editor of INDO-IRANICA. His contribution is also very great. Now I shall come to the very, very present scenario of the INDO-IRANICA. I will tell you what the present scenario is there so far the Indo-IRANICA is concerned. With headers on the top of each page mentioning the volume of the journal on the left side and the title of the article along with the name of the author on the left side, on the right side of the article, Indo-IRANICA, of the pages of Indo-IRANICA. Apart from this, he has added a disclaimer that was not there previously. Apart from this, he has added a disclaimer, necessary information regarding the subscription rates, along with distributor's name, a brief outline of Indo-IRANICA, and the list of contents marvelously designed by him from time to time. He has also categorized the articles like about the issue, memorial, lecture, seminar, paper, articles in Iran Society News. And he has written Iran Society News in English as well as in Persian.
In the food for thought and food for stomach. So I shall not put both of them in contradiction and be very brief. As a lay person who does not come from Persian stock, the Indo-IRANICA has influenced me at an individual level immensely, and there are about 70 articles that I have noted that have contributed to my understanding, my worldview. But I will just subject you to very briefly 5 of them. But before I go into that, the foreword of the journal published in 1946 underlies 2 very, very important points that need to be highlighted. All the activities of the Iran Society are to be directed to widening the scope of a rational understanding between the peoples of 2 great neighboring countries through a proper evaluation of their cultures and civilizations. Thus, the mission of its journal cannot but be for the furtherance of this very cause. One has to keep in mind that when the editors and the leaders of the Iran Society were writing the foreword for the journal, they used the word between the peoples of 2 great neighboring countries. That is, until July 1946, the leaders of the Iran Society were convinced that India and Pakistan would be neighbors, and they were not in favor of the partition of India. You get it documented in the Journal of the Iran Society. The second part is that the degree of importance that the flow of the Indo-IRANICA places on scholarship is presented in the foreword. The Indo-IRANICA is to afford fair opportunities for the publication of the ripe fruits of scholarly labors and antiquarian researches without any biases or prejudices. The Board of Editors hope that they will not fail to enlist the worldwide sympathy and profit by the cooperation of scholars and contributors.
This is Amreen Alamgir, research scholar, Department of Persian, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. So the topic for my presentation is From Foundation to Legacy, a comprehensive study of Indo-IRANICA and its contribution to Persian studies in India. As we all know, Indo-IRANICA is a quarterly journal of Iran Society. Iran Society that was founded by Muhammad Ishaque, a Persian scholar, in 1944 with the aim to promote the study of the Persian language and literature, religion and philosophy, arts and culture of and pertaining to Iran, so as to make the society a center of intellectual collaboration and cultural understanding between India and Iran. To achieve this object, literary, academic, and scholarly activities were needed. Among them, the publication of Persian works has been a central and enduring aspect of its mission to preserve and promote the Persian heritage in India. Thus, publication was most necessary towards the fulfillment of the basic needs of the society. Now we will talk about the journey of INDO-IRANICA so far. The Council of Iran Society was very much keen in publishing the journal to achieve the aims and objectives of the society as given in the memorandum. For this purpose, the Council in its meeting held on 23rd March 1945 constituted a journal committee consisting of Dr. B.C. Law, the chairman, Professor B.M. Barwa, M.M. Haq, S.M. Tahir Tirmizi, and Dr. Muhammad Ishaque as a convener to draw up a scheme for consideration by the Council. Certain recommendations regarding the publication of the journal were approved and confirmed by the Council on 4th May 1945. It was unanimously decided that the quarterly literary organ of the society under the name INDO-IRANICA be brought out. The Secretary was authorized to seek permission from the authority concerned. After some official procedure, permission for starting the publication of the said journal was granted by the Paper Control Department of Industries and Civil Supplies, Government of India, New Delhi. First editorial board of the INDO-IRANICA. According to the recommendation of the Journal Committee, the first editorial board was constituted comprising Dr. B.C. Law as editor-in-chief, Professor M. Barwa of Calcutta University, Professor Suniti Kumar Chatterjee, Professor Mazharul Haq, Dr. Mehdi Hussain, Professor V. Minorski from School of Oriental and African Studies, London, Dr. Professor Iqbal, Professor Muhammad Nizamuddin, IGS Tarapolwala as corresponding editors, with Dr. Muhammad Ishaque as a managing editor. Dr. Muhammad Ishaque collected valuable materials in Persian and English for the journal, and after critically editing them, brought out the first issue of the Journal of the Society, which explained its main mission. The INDO-IRANICA is to afford fair opportunities for the publication of the ripe fruits of scholarly labors and antiquarian research without any bias and prejudice. Now coming to the aims and objectives of the journal. Shortly after the establishment of the Iran Society, a resolution was passed to publish a journal that would effectively advance the society's objectives and scholarly pursuits. Despite facing considerable challenges, this vision was successfully realized in July 1946 with the launch of the INDO-IRANICA, a bilingual quarterly journal. The commencement of such a publication within merely 2 years of the society's founding, particularly during the period of great difficulty, was nothing short of remarkable. The mission and scope of INDO-IRANICA were clearly articulated in the foreword to its inaugural issue, dated 1945, that is, all the activities of Iran society are to be directed to widening the scope of a rational understanding between the peoples of 2 neighboring countries through a proper evaluation of their cultures and civilization.